is coming through, but you can hear the. You can hear that so bad.
So the mic is working though.
Hello.
So the mic is working. Sure is.
It's working out.
Okay.
Good to go. There's no
All
game
right.
there might not be game audio. I'm not sure. Well, there should be. You can turn it up though.
Yeah.
Once we start playing, I'll just come in here and fix it.
Okay.
Okay.
Headphones. Are these the headphones? No, these are the headphones. This doesn't. Hey, what about audio in here? I mean, do I use like these headphones, or how do I hear?
You should be able to hear now through that speaker.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. As long as that's just not coming through on the mic. Okay. Then I guess we are good. Yep, I'm still in the. Okay. Then, yep, we're good on my end. Diva. All right, welcome viewers. We are here tonight with a in-house match series of matches between Team Zam and Team Booga here. We've got the Overwatch teams are scrambled tonight, going to be playing on a very interesting new kind of workshop rule set, so to speak, where things are going to be a bit different, trying to be a little bit more like Overwatch 2, kind of preparing for that eventual launch. So in the meantime, teams are going to be playing kind of the best example they can get thanks to the workshop mode. Tonight we've got on Team Zam, we've got some strong players that are going to be leading the pack here. Of course, Alex, one of the strongest Wrecking Ball players I have ever seen in my Overwatch career, is going to be leading the charge, Team Zam. And then over on Team Booga, we've got plenty of heavy hitters, such as Draven Slade, of course, who's going to be a huge pillar for Team Booga. So now, as we enter our first match here, we're going to be starting up on Mecha Base, which is going to be an interesting first round here, as I feel the symmetry on this map lends itself very well to being a good beginning map here. I think that this is going to be interesting to see kind of what composition they go, but either way, they're definitely going to have to fight in the same kind of middle ground here where all the teams are going to be contesting, of course. So now things are going to be setting up here. The teams are setting up their compositions. We're going to be seeing an interesting difference in comps here right now. Team Zam is going to be, of course, rolling with Wrecking Ball for their main tank with Alex, and they set up the rest of their team, again, like Overwatch 2 settings, where there's going to be 5 versus 5 here, one tank. So with that one tank, they've then got some dive kind of composition on Team Zam to help support it a little bit. But then over on Team Booga, we've got more of a brawl style composition. So now let's get into the first match here. Let's see who's going to be bringing the heat first in this Overwatch 2 style in-house scrim between Team Zam and Team Booga. We're making our way here. Teams are now about to conflict and clash here in the top high ground here. They're making their way. Interesting play here as they're pushing in. Alex goes in with the pile driver. Wrecking Ball is starting to light it up here. Abilities are popping already. The armor is out. The anti-grenade is now out. The team is going to be going down. Yogi is going to get the first kill. Finally, Dravenslick goes down. That's a huge kill. That's going to be terrible for Team Booga here as they're struggling now. It's already 2 down and a 5v5 already to begin with, and that's going to be the rest of the team. It's just Reinhardt and Anna hanging on here, barely trying to make it last until they can go down for the count. Beautiful first team fight won there by Team Zam as they just absolutely clobbered Team Booga, and that is just exactly what you need to do. You want to win that team fight as late into the opening fight as possible, because then you can immediately count the point, score as much percentage as possible. With that being said, now the next team fight is already happening. Anti-grenade is out. Genji gets the kill on Data Drainer, goes down. Star goes down as well, and that's just another domino effect. 4 kills. One more is going to be a complete team kill for Team Zam on Team Booga. With 2 ults in the bank here and the point and team lead here, Team Zam is honestly looking to make a very significant first play here as they are making a statement. And that statement is, we are here to run Overwatch 2. 4 ults in the bank now as they're setting up for this next team fight. Honestly, this is going to be a situation where Team Booga wants to draw out as many of these ults as possible. There's the Nano Blade, but the anti almost gets him down. Geneva with 1 health left. And there's the Nano Shatter as well from Team Booga. Alex gets stomped out by Monster. And this is going to be a devastating play. The tank is down. That's huge. No tanks left on Team Zam as they're just clobbering. Reinhardt's trying to get the kills, but we've got Halt, of course, laying on the suppressing fire. Pixel Pharaoh and Krenus both get traded up by both teams. That's huge right now. 4v4 going on a main point. Alex is already back to contest, but Team Booga does cap the point for now. No matter what happens, they are at least finally getting some points back to try and even out the score, as we are already making our way into the third team fight, so to speak, here. And it's now finally 64, 13%. This was exactly what Team Booga needed. They needed to get their foot in the door, use some ultimates while still making some others happen, and then just essentially try not to die too much to the ult combinations. Now, they were able to survive most of those ults Team Zam threw at them. However, they're going to be changing strategy here. Team Zam is going to be taking a side route here, going to be taking the top bridge, pushing and initiating with the rally ultimate over there by Brigitte. Oh, this is not looking good for the tank over on Team Booga side. Monster is just barely hanging on here, getting their shield just decimated, absolutely losing as much health as possible, but the healers are right there and ready and waiting. Monster's now antied. Oh, this is looking rough for them, just absolutely tearing them down. That is going to be a point secured for Team Zam, but the fight's not over yet here. Data Drainer and Krenus and Dravenslade all are trying to recontest this. We've got a support, 2 DPS, and an ultimate here. This is actually still anybody's fight here. The objective is still under Team Zam's security. However, they are now making a push here. Team Booga is absolutely fighting for control. 3/4 of it. They just need to get the enemy team off of the point for one moment here. And there it is. Team Booga does secure the point. And that's going to be now 50% to 87% team fight win. And this is exactly what Team Booga needed to then even the odds here. Wonderful performance there by Team Booga. They were honestly getting knocked around a little bit in those first couple team fights, and it was looking like Team Zam was going to take this advantage and keep rolling with it, but Booga was successfully able to deter them. Now they're split up a little bit, trying to just cover all the bases, but that is going to be a Nano Blade, and Diva is going to get these kills, the double, going for even more. Just the blade thirsts for blood right now as they are just popping these ultimates, trying to just get as many kills as possible. Fighting on the point. We've got the tanks are fighting between each other. The Monster is just trying to hold the point as long as possible, but the rest of Team Booga is already down. This is honestly just the biggest stall possible. Star comes in with the trying to assist there. Krenus is now stalling it out. They need to just stall and die on point as much as possible. This next team fight is going to decide this first round, as it's now 92 to 94%. Team Booga's pushing in here. We've got one ultimate on Team Zam's side. It is going to be anyone's fight. If they can at least just touch point here, Monster does go in for the flight and does get at least one touch on there. They're now fighting all knuckles out. Just a brawl out right now. On the objective, we can see the team's just eagerly trying to focus on who is the biggest target here. You know they're got to be team calling here, trying to call this out as much as possible, and it's looking like it's working. That's 3 picks down. The rest of the fight is secured, and the first round goes to Team Zam. Wonderful performance there by Team Zam and Team Booga both, but Team Zam was able to just make that comeback there in the last part. It was honestly so interesting to me the way that they were able to make that first push and get their feet in the door and just kind of make their force known. However, then Team Booga did not just relent. They still kept fighting, and it truly got them at least to 94%. But ultimately, Team Zam was able to come back around. However, that was just one round of one map, and we're going to a best of 7 here. So now we're looking to see how is Team Booga going to react to this. Are they going to be changing up their composition a lot? Right now, it seems they're going to be keeping a little bit similar comp to the last round, where we've got the tank is going to be Diva. However, Alex did change from Wrecking Ball over to Reinhardt, so Team Zam is going to be running with more of a brawl style composition there with Reinhardt, McCree, and Lucio, of course. We're now looking to see what's happening here. We've got monsters playing off of the site here with the 5v5. It's really interesting to me just how different it is from a standard affair here in Overwatch 1, whereas normally it'd be kind of the tanks or just the main dominant force behind the team fight. Here it really feels like there's less of an emphasis on the individual tank fights and more of a kind of reflection on what the rest of the team can contribute to the fight. I think that's just interesting to see, but honestly, Alex is just interested in getting this point and getting his enemies off the screen right now. Truly tearing it up right there thanks to his Lucio assist. So that was a wonderful first team fight here by Team Zam. They did secure the point. That was a lot of fighting for only 8% so far. They just were able to capture that. Let's see how Team Booga responds. It seems they've already got a tank swap on their side. They've got their Diva has already swapped off to Reinhardt. Team Booga, now the fight is getting heated here. There's that charge clash. There's the nano going out here now. Monster is trying to block and blocks the shatter mostly, but Star gets taken down and the anti-grenade is out. This is going to be huge for Team Zam. They just need to keep pushing this. Honestly, huge devastation. Team Zam is just wrecking havoc on Team Booga. That is a team kill. Team Zam does take the second team fight, resulting now in what is about to be 40% to 0% lead here. Diva does have the Deadeye. However, looking over on Team Booga's side, they're about to have Coalescence and upcoming Deadeye as well from Krenus on Team Booga. So if they want to combine their ults, it's going to be in this next team fight here as they're making this side push, trying to sneakily get on the point. And there it is. The teams are finally clashing. The Deadeye is out. Let's see if it gets any kills. And it does not get the kills, but the charge clash does happen still on point. The Coalescence by Star is playing a huge role in this fight. Krenus Data do get the kills. That's huge. 3 are down, 4 are down. Now this is absolutely Team Booga's fight, and now Team Zam is just trying to die on point, get out of there. Absolutely dominant response there by Team Booga. That was perfect. We saw absolute aggression by the team, and it was perfect because they capitalized on Team Zam hanging out on mid lane. Meanwhile, Team Booga was able to try and go on to the left lane and just divert the enemy's attention, and therefore they were able to take the fight, take the space that much easier. Oh, this, you see the shatter, but the boom does get them away. Another Deadeye out. Alex's shield is down, but they're still backing up due to lack of resources. Anyone's fighting now. Yogi and Krenus both down. DPSs are down now. Alex has got the shatter. Get the shatter off. The nano is out. The plays are making. The fire strikes are happening. That is a triple kill by Alex there. Quadruple kill by Alex. Shout out to the team support, but honestly, Alex just absolutely tearing it up on the battlefield right now. That was a very dominant display of aggression here by Alex as he's just trying to dominate this field. I think there's going to be, if Team Booga loses one more team fight, then that is all Team Zam needs. So right now, Team Booga needs to get in here, and they need to make sure they get... Oh, they crushed Yogi in the charge clash. Absolutely phenomenal clash there. Yogi gets down, but Monster gets traded out for it. Stars down 2. That's going to be a tank and a healer out, and another DPS. It's just cleanup crew right now for Team Zam, and they are just taking them down one by one, taking Team Booga down. And that is going to be an overall map win for Team Zam. Absolutely phenomenal performance here. I just wanted to try and get a word in with Alex here. I just want to kind of hear what his thoughts were playing through this, because this was a insane play there. I think the tank presence in those matches were phenomenal to witness. So now that I got you here, Alex, please tell me, share with the crowd, what was going through your mind there during that second round there when you were just kind of tearing it up as Reinhardt? And hold it down. You guys did, absolutely. I kind of feel that tempo you guys were talking about there, where, you know, I saw you guys really take control of those first couple team fights, and though Team Booga did kind of respond a little bit well, I think that you guys ultimately were just able to kind of keep that hold secured. So with that, how do you feel going in this next match, this next map?
I think we just keep up the momentum, honestly. Lock down the angles, make sure our DPS on the enemy team don't get around us, and yeah, we should be good.
That's what I like to hear. That sounds like a good plan. Well, I will let you get back to playing with your team as well. Appreciate you joining me over here. This is already an insane set so far, so I can't wait to see more. All right, with that, Alex is going to be going back to his team now to try and deliberate kind of what they need to make and what changes they need to make going into this next map here. It's going to be interesting. So Team Booga is now going to be picking this next map. So,
I'm going to mess with something.
Yep.
You're going to? I'll go.
Oh, sorry. One moment as we just make some technical adjustments.
Traveling to Mumbai. Initiating.
All right, and we are back now, finally getting into the second game here, and it's going to be over on Numbani, which is honestly one of my personal favorite maps here. Even though the first point is honestly one of the hardest kind of attack choke points in my opinion, I still think that this is a truly great map for players to kind of see what the other team's strategies are, because here you're going to tell exactly what kind of mentality the other team is in. Like, for example, are they kind of more aggressive? Are they defensive? Are they split up? Are they going to go for like a cheesy kind of strat, you know? And I think that this is one of those perfect times to find out exactly what they're going to go for. So here it's going to be interesting. We already see Team Booga is going to be first on attack here, going for a monkey and kind of similar, more agile composition here. Kreen is going to back up Monster, of course, with the Tracer. Data Drainer is likely going to be backing them up from the distance with his weapon. However, we're also going to see a monkey from the defense side on Team Alex's team, Team Zam here, and we're going to see kind of probably a little bit more loose, a little bit more freestyle kind of approach. We've got Genji and Mercy both to back up anybody in their kind of comp style. So with that, now I'm interested to see exactly how this next map is going to go here as we're proceeding in round 1 of game 2 here in Overwatch's UCO Esports in-house scrim. We are now just getting started here. That first map was already amazing, and now we're going to see some even more great action here. We see Monster making the very first push here, diving up top right with that push, but Alex is just going to respond exactly the same. You see the monkeys just attacking each other's teams, and now they're fighting like two gorillas in a cage here, and that's going to be a very interesting push there. Alex gets slept. Absolutely phenomenal response there as the rest of the team just gets taken down here. Yogi is just a menace to behold, just taking down all the players he can on Team Booga. That was a very interesting first fight here. I think that it was interesting to see just kind of, I think Team Booga was trying to divert the attention of the defending side by kind of going for that push on the top right. However, it didn't work as much just because Alex was already going to go for the same approach. So with that, I think the coordination just wasn't able to pull off there for Team Booga. But now, this is still anyone's fight here. They're trying to make this push in. It's good to get the shield bash, but Dravenslayer is looking to initiate this all on their own. Now they finally got the sleep again. Antied on the monkey. This is huge. If they can get Alex down, this is going to be a huge pick for their push that they need. But right now, it's just looking like everybody's still scrambling a little bit. Monster's going in for the plays here. We just see some electrocuting. Yogi once again taking down player after player on Team Booga's team. And this is now just kind of a mad dash trying to survive, trying to get any ult charge they can. And now we're, oh no, Monster is still getting caught out. Dravenslayer does finally get that back in there to help out, thankfully, just in the nick of time, saving their player. So now this next fight is going to be severely interesting because most players now are going to have their ult. We already see 4 ultimates available on Team Zam's side. We see at least 3 pop. 1 pop now. They're finally pushing in with ults here. Data Drainer popping that visor to get a double kill, and we've got Rally as well from Dravenslayer. Both just committing their ults here, trying to get as much as possible, but the Nano Blade is also out on Team Zam. The ult combinations are just flying, and Diva gets another kill. Monster trades it out, but Data Drainer finally goes down. 2 versus 2 down now. 3 left versus 3. This is now still anybody's fight here on the point, as they're just trying to just clash and see absolutely who's going to get the point, but it's looking like Monster, Star, and Kretus are all getting the kills they need. Beautiful team coordination there is exactly what you need, because now they finally got the payload, and this dramatically changes how the rest of this map is going to play out. Now that they've secured the objective in this hybrid game mode, they now have to make their way down the path all the way to the end of the map here. So now the objective changes. Instead of the attacking side trying to get into the house, they're now moving the house to a new neighborhood. And the new neighborhood association is not too happy about that. So the defending side, Team Zam, is going to be making their best effort to hold them off. They don't have a lot of ultimates in the bank, but Team Zam is absolutely just holding their own here, while Monster gets on Yogi in the backline, which is exactly what they need due to Yogi's just sheer aggressive dominance there. Honestly, I hope this isn't a trade, but absolutely still worth it though. Alright, since Monster didn't go down, that was exactly what Team Booga needs. They need to push in now that they've got these resources. Tracer's trying to come back over there. Yogi is trying to make their way back off of Ash, now onto Tracer. The trades are flying. DPS are now both down. At least one of them on both sides. The Nano is out on Monster, and they're just going to be pushing, making this aggressive play. We see the card is being contested here by both Alex and Diva as they're just trying to make these plays. Alex is antied, but the monkey ult is out. Primal Rage is just absolutely raging on, as now we've kind of splitting up. We've got multiple fights happening at the same time. Instead of one concentrated fight, we're seeing finally some ults flying now. Now we've got Alex's ultimate. The Nano is helping. The trades are flying again. Both monkeys are taking fights, but Monster gets taken up on Team Boogie. This is huge now since they only have 1 tank due to the Overwatch 2 workshop rule set. This is a huge domino that could fall, except they traded equally in kind. Alex is down. The rally is out by Dravenslayer. This is a huge new push here. Data Drainer pops the visors as well. Yogi's Pulse Mine by Tracer doesn't quite get any picks, but the rest of the team just uses as much utility, as much ultimates as possible, and it worked. They absolutely got the capture they needed. They made it to the next checkpoint. Now they're in the home stretch here. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left, as they're just going to need to push this into the final stretch, into the home base. Now Monster is trying to get some damage out, but unfortunately went a little bit too deep there, gets traded out, and that's exactly the kind of moment they need to capitalize on. Team Zam is now going to be popping up some more ultimates. Dragon Blade is out, of course. Yogi gets more kills, and that's just kind of going to be a back off kind of play there for Team Zam. Team Zam now does have 2 ultimates in the bank. We've got Primal Rage and Rally by both Alex and Pixel Pharaoh. And it's not, I can't say the same about Team Booga currently, as they're operating without any kind of ultimates. I think their best play right now is going to be playing just for sheer damage and trying to build ultimates here. This is a scary close quarters fight, but now we've already got at least one rally out by Pixel Pharaoh as Team Zam is trying to just keep their hold here. Alex and Diva do get the first 2 picks. Now it's going to be a 5 versus 3 here, and you don't want to be in that situation. But at least Monster's still up. The anti-grenade is out, and Monster is down. That's now going to be a 2v3 at least. Alex just cleans them up as well with his weapon that Winston just loves to zap him with like just mosquitoes on a fine summer night. So with that, just like a summer night, they're going to be taking it easy for a little bit as they're looking to just kind of keep their foot in the door, keep that door locked. As ironic as it is to say, they're just trying to make sure that that Team Booga does not get in here and does not really get their foot in the door themselves. So right now, Yogi gets the kill on Dravenslade. Already huge, as that's one support down. Now it's going to be a 4v5 without a support, and I wouldn't want to push into that situation if I was on Team Booga. We now see the monkey on monkey action happening on high ground here, as both tanks are just kind of playing around each other. But Primal is up. Primal is out by Monster. They've also got Pulse Mine ready by Greenus on Team Booga side. Interesting Primal here. I'm wondering if they're trying to get space with it, or if they're possibly just trying to kind of use it, get the value out of it, and maybe swap off, because it's kind of a stalemate right now, as we see both teams are trying to keep their main tank alive. But with that being said, both tanks just get taken out at the same time. Daedra gets taken down as well. And now Pixel Pharaoh gets the trade too. It's just left and right flying trades back and forth now. Anybody is going to be taken down here. It's interesting to see just how many plays they can make before they run out of juice. Yogi pops the Deadeye, doesn't quite get any kills. I gotta assume that might just be a fat finger there, but honestly, even with that happening, that's still 2 ults in the bank by Alex and Jiva. Now, it's looking like Team Booga is gonna push in with everything they have. The Dragon Blade is out, but the anti-grenade is out too. Double kill by Jiva, 1 kill by Yogi, gets the kills. 3 are down on Team Booga side, 2 are down on Team Zam's side. This is now gonna be a 3v2. Oh, and Alex gets Monster tank on tank. Fights here, and with 5 seconds left, it's looking like this is possibly going to be the end, but Kreenis is going to try and touch at the last second, has to recall. Dravenslade does get the touch. The rest of Team Booga is now stacking on there. This is overtime. This is the final fight here. Daedra does pop the Deadeye, gets a double kill at least before going down, and a 3rd kill. Kreenis gets that pulse bomb mine. This is absolutely exactly what Team Booga needs. Team Zam is scrambling now, trying to get the last kill that they need to just stop this last push in overtime. Whoever wins this fight is going to win this round. This is just a dramatic, just drag out fight here. This Monster is now trying to get the kills in. Monster does get taken down, however, that's going to be a tank down on Team Booga. The trades are flying. Yogi gets the Deadeye, but no kills. The trades again, Star and Pixel Pharaoh, both supports on both teams trade out. Alex does have the nano now, and now finally turning around, the trades are flying, but Alex does have it. Kreenis holding up for dear life, and oh, in the overtime, just in the final section, you see Team Zam does manage to just bring it back, clutch it back into the palm of their hand, and successfully keep Team Booga out. Now, with that being said, that was still only 2 points out of the possible 3 that Team Booga could get. They just need to keep Team Zam from accomplishing the same. So this is still absolutely winnable for anybody. And this is the moment when you just need to be thinking, okay, what did they get us on in the last round? What were we doing wrong? What were they doing wrong? This is the moment to kind of just sit, reflect for a moment, think, okay, what is it our composition? And honestly, I think, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think the compositions were any kind of struggle here. I just think possibly there was a little bit of interesting difference in ult economy. I think ultimately what got them was the ultimates and how they just kind of were able to hold on to them. Now, of course, it was unfortunate that Yogi was faffing in the Deadeye earlier. However, that being said, they still did manage to kind of keep it together. It was a rocky ride there, but they were able to get it going. And so now Alex opts to trade out the Winston for the Wrecking Ball here. Now we're going to be seeing a bit more of a dive composition here. Even more commitment to the dive style, as pretty much all characters on Team Zam are going to be more agile. So now, after a solid opening debut, was, sorry, not a debut necessarily, but a first round here by Team Zam holding defense. Let's see if they can keep the skills that they have and apply them now on attack just as well. Some teams get it right. Some teams are able to just absolutely knock out the park, both attack and defense. Some teams are better on one side than the other. But here is exactly we find that out. So we're trying to get some pick. You can see Kreenis just going for the shots here. Isn't able to get the echo down, but does try and go for the big tanks here, dealing out some damage. They're able to keep their hold in there. Alex tries to get in there, get some damage, get some armor, get some ult economy, but unfortunately gets taken down by Monster, and that tank kill is going to be huge. They do get the trade on Pixel Pharaoh. I apologize, not even a trade. That's actually just 2 good kills there that Team Booga got on them. So now we're going to see Team Zam is just going to kind of regroup, you know, recollect themselves, and they're gonna just try it again as best they can. So we're gonna see first, of course, Monster is just hanging out here, trying to witness, trying to see, okay, where are they gonna go. But if we watch Alex here, we're going to see them go in, at least for the pile driver. Good targeting right there. However, you could even say that that was probably bait, the way they perfectly executed the punish on Alex after the pile driver. Diva just coming in with that triple kill like just a teacher giving an F on a homework assignment. Insane, just kind of disciplinary action right there as they just take him down. Diva and Yogi both just absolutely dominate the battlefield there. And ultimately, they were able to still get this kill. It was just insane the way they did push in there, and they did kind of lose their tank, but they ultimately still were able to get these kills and get the picks that they needed. So as we make our way now to the second half of this map, as I said earlier, the fundamental kind of flow of this game changes once the hybrid objective is unlocked. So with the cart out now, we've got Team Zam is just splitting up here, trying to cover all their bases. They've got the agility, they've got the mobility. You've got to kind of use that to your advantage any chance you get. So right now we see all the members of Team Zam are splitting up, trying to see kind of, okay, where are they? Get some intel. Try to get some knowledge here, because just like G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle, especially in this situation. So with that, the second half of the battle is starting now, with Monster pushing in aggressively on that first half, but doesn't quite get the support they need, gets antied, gets bubbled out, and truly just gets taken down. And that's going to be 2 huge picks now on Team Booga. Team Zam is just absolutely carrying this cart. Halt is just driving it like it's his. Absolutely just stealing this cart away from the defending side, Team Booga. Now they're trying to make a poke. They have one more fight here if they want to contest it before it reaches the second checkpoint. And that is going to be the 2 points exactly that Team Zam needs. The best case scenario right here truly for Team Booga would be to keep Team Zam away from capturing the second checkpoint, and that's looking like that's their goal right now. We see here aggressive display here. Nano and Primal is out. Monster is trying to make it happen, but just kind of hovers, teeters on the brink of zero until finally falling to the team fight. You gotta admit the tenacity was there, of course, but Yogi is just aggressive with the just duplicate shield bashing and ultimately takes down Dravenslade. Honestly, that kind of felt a little personal just watching that, the way they duplicated. Yogi just duplicated Dravenslade and took them down with their own kit. It's about sending a message sometimes, I think. And Yogi truly delivered that message by hand. As we're nearing the final checkpoint here, we're seeing a very strong push here by Team Zam. They've got 4 minutes on the clock. Lots of comfort here. Data Drainer is at least popping their ultimate to try and keep them out, and it's successful so far. That being said, they did at least res one more person. Data Drainer does take down another. However, the picks are still flying also on Team Booga's side, and now this is going to be a kind of desperate stall here. Team Booga has probably just 1 fight's worth of space left. Inevitably, Team Zam is looking to try and get this car into the overtime zone, but Team Booga is trying to stop that from happening. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. Can Team Booga hold them out as long as they need to, or is Team Zam going to just get the upper hand here? It's still anybody's game, but this is a significant lead here for Team Zam. Theoretically speaking, all they need to do is just wait until they can combine all their ultimates and then use them effectively. But even if you've got all that, you still don't automatically win unless you use them right. So curious to see exactly what's going to happen here and if they're going to be able to kind of make this work. We've got the sleep over on Monster. Gets waking up there. They get at least 1 heal nade. Kreenis gets the first pick in this team fight. Yogi is down, and that's going to be a huge pick. Daedrin and Kreenis on Team Booga are just eliminating the opposition here. Just kill after kill. taking them down, doing exactly what a DPS needs to be doing, and that's just getting those picks. So with those picks, that's huge because that means Team Zam can't push in. That means Team Booga has more ultimates up their sleeve, and ultimately that just kind of helps them in the situation. Team Booga needs to hold on to as many ults as possible because Team Zam is just stacking them right now. They're about to have Nano, they're about to have Duplicate, they already have Minefield, and they're about to have Blade. They'll potentially have a Nano Blade Minefield, and if they just win this one team fight, they're going to be able to get this in. So now the ultimates are flying, the Rally is out, the Duplicate is out, the Primal is out, the Mines are out, ultimates just flying left and right here as they're just trying to bring it back in. Deadeye is out, trying to get any kills. Gets at least Pixel Pharaoh. Krenus does get that kill. The support is huge. Now the Nano Blade is out, and this is a win condition here. Jiva is going for the kills, and they are absolutely bloodthirsty. Jiva gets the triple. Yogi gets another, and Halt finishes out to get the team kill they need to secure this and win. Round 2. Team Zam successfully gets it in there to score 3 points and take map 2 to just keep this lead going. They absolutely had. This was just a wonderful performance here. Jiva certainly deserves this play of the game for that kind of nano blades that they were throwing out all match. Goes for 1, goes for 2, goes for 3, an absolutely dominant display here. Even though they don't get the blade kill necessarily, they did still weaken them just enough for Halt to actually kill them with the anti-grenade. So that was a just wonderful, wonderful performance by the players here. I think that they were honestly going for some very interesting plays. I think that while sometimes maybe they were going for some aggressive plays, I think it was honestly necessary to make, because even if a play doesn't work out, it's still knowledge, it's still information. You know, you kind of get a better idea about where the enemy team's priorities are so that you can, you know, better understand where you need to go and where you shouldn't go, you know, where it's going to be live fire, you know, where you're going to get punished. So I think with that, that was interesting just to see kind of both Monster and Alex kind of making their tank plays. You know, Winston versus Winston was common for most of that match until Alex, of course, switched off Wrecking Ball, which was a very significant choice there in kind of helping push that momentum forward through the rest of the match.
Sub happening. There's a sub happening.
All right, I've just been informed there is a substitute happening. Which players?
Yogi and Evan.
All right.
Yogi and Gambler.
Gambler.
Gambler's getting switched in for Yogi.
All right, so we're making a DPS swap here. Yogi is going to be swapping out here for Gambler. Jared, of course, is known to be a bit of a mad lad himself. He's going to be going in. He's going to be making some plays. He's going to be getting some picks. I know I've personally talked to him myself, and I think that he is on the right track to getting his guns up. So I think that we are in for a next match here as the players are just getting set up here. Be right back. All right. We are back now here with Game 3 as part of our Best of 7 series, Overwatch 2 Workshop Scrim here, in-house game by UCO Esports. Now I am joined by the lovely Yogi, who you may all have seen just absolutely tearing it up on Battlefield earlier. While I have you here, Yogi, how would you describe your performance in that last map on Numbani?
Well, when it comes down to it, now that we don't have that additional off-tank there to kind of mitigate certain people, when it comes to heroes like Echo, Pharah, more divey heroes that do burst damage, they get away with so much more. Especially Echo, because if you land that combo correctly, you can really do some damage on the backline. Now Ashe on Numbani second point is always just kind of a go-to, I think. Always a great pick to start off with. But I think the real star of that previous match was Alex. With this new less amount of CC, it's so much harder to deal with a ball. Would you think the same thing?
Oh, absolutely. It seems like it's kind of up to specifically characters like McCree that are just absolutely the best at CC to kind of focus on if you want to CC chain. No longer is it kind of a just free-for-all match here. But speaking of free-for-all match, we're already getting into the first fight here, looking to get some picks here. There we go. Monster is down. The first tank is down on Team Booga. That's going to be huge here. Whew.
Now we get to see this new Bastion play come out from one of our new DPS, Evan. This new Bastion setup where he gets to move while he's in his turret form, but it's in a duration of only 10 seconds.
Interesting. That's so weird to me, kind of thinking about how just the former and current in Overwatch 1 stationary turret can now just move. Now, did they also adjust the damage for that? I didn't quite see.
I think they lowered it by a little bit, but not too much. He's still a pretty big powerhouse damage dealer.
Ooh.
Oh, great fire strike there by Monster.
Like to call those heat seekers the way they just kind of dish out the damage. So that's going to be 2 supports down from Team Zam side. That's going to be rough in this 5v5. Now it's going to be a 3v5. No supports. There's the charge clash. Krenus is trying to back them up here. Huge kill on Alex and Gambler. This is the kind of domino fall that they need to get this momentum going, get their foot in the door, and absolutely keep this going. They now have the momentum they need to possibly take this first checkpoint. What do you think Team Zam needs to do to respond to this kind of aggression here?
I really think they need to stop the bleeding. The soldier is getting away with so much. And as we just saw, we had a great shatter there by Alex, and it's really starting to turn the tide, but I don't think they'll get to the point in time, and it looks like they didn't.
That's exactly what Team Booga needed, just to get that first checkpoint. Now they've got almost 5 minutes up on the clock there, just kind of making their way, moseying along down Junktown lane as just Data Drainer and Krenus are just getting these picks, doing the DPS job they need to, and taking down as many on Team Zam as possible. Alex is charging, trying to get out to safety. Gambler gets taken down, barely makes it out by the skin of his teeth, and now that's already
and they are chasing him. They're trying to get him straight to the end. Now, I'm honestly very surprised that Team Zam didn't run a dive comp with how successful they've been doing it the past 2 games. It's really perplexing, especially when you have a great Genji like Evan, a great ball character like Alex. My real question is the Widow. I think Widow is a great pick for this map, especially long range and the less amount of CC control without a Diva or a Monkey to contest her. But right now, we're seeing this car continuously pushed forward, and Team Zam really needs to stop the bleeding.
Insane shatter there. Monster just hits them with the flank shatter, and it works out amazingly well. Gets the kill on Pixel, gets the kill on Gambler, and that sets up the rest of the team to get it. And that's a second checkpoint here already for Team Booga.
5 minutes in,
Whew.
Team Zam is getting absolutely walloped by Team Booga right now, and it's just a little bit hard to watch. They really need to find a way to stop this bleeding. Use these ultimates that they have. There we go. He's trying to get Alex off the... trying to get Data Drainer off the high ground as best as he can. Data Drainer's gone unchecked most of this game. He's really been showing.
You hate to see it, but that's just the nature of Bastion. He's going to melt that shield like it's butter, and they're just kind of popping some more ults. You see Gambler popping Deadeye right there just to make sure and secure this fight, because right now they're kind of just holding on for dear life. Team Zam has to hold out for another 4.5 minutes here.
4.5 minutes, and we're looking at the ult economy of both teams. We see that both are pretty low on ults, but Dravenslade is going to come up with a Valkyrie pretty soon. If they use it correctly, they might be able to keep pushing this point even further.
You're exactly right here. The ultimate economy is honestly what's going to be the biggest deciding factor here. It's tough, you know, because when you get to this point of the fight, the biggest deciding factor is who's going to keep more in the bank. You can spend them, you can save them however you want, but if you pop as many ultimates as possible, theoretically speaking, it makes it a little bit easier to make it. It's not guaranteed, but that's exactly what they need. So right here, we're seeing just kind of teams are building some ult economy. Team Booga's pushing in here. Monster just gets melted.
Absolutely melted by that Bastion. That Bastion's really coming in handy right now against that Reinhardt. We see that Kreenis has a pulse bomb and he is looking to use it.
Oh, that Bastion turret just moving. It just felt cursed. It just felt cursed to seeing it right there.
It's a image to see a strafing Bastion turret move about the map. Now, I think the most important factor in here, and it may be happening, is that Team Booga at first had that momentum, but now it's starting to die out. We see that Team Zam has been able to stop the bleeding, and we have to see if they are able to really get that momentum back up, because if not, we might be looking at a 3-minute hold here. We have to see Kreenis at this moment get a pretty good pulse bomb to set this going.
And we're seeing some ultimates out already here. Coalescence to try and mitigate some of the damage, but then we see it.
Oh, he got knocked off. He got knocked off the high ground. He's
That's
going
huge.
to have to move.
Data Drainer gets that first pick. Gets traded, however. The bomb is...
Star dies with Transcendence.
Woo!
That is huge for Team Zam.
Amazing combinations here. They popped out window by Baptiste, and that just kind of helped set up Diva for destruction there in Sentry mode.
I think coming forward when this Bastion uses his ultimate, we're going to have to see a really good trends come out of this from Star with his Zenyatta right now. Him dying last on the second last game really put them in a handle, not being able to get that Transcendence out. That Transcendence probably really could have saved them from that window that came out, I think.
Truly, there's win conditions and then there's just safety nets. And right now, I think Star's Transcendence is absolutely that safety net they need because
Diva with another pick on that Tracer.
Just dominating right now. Without even using Diva's ultimate, that still keeps that in the bank. Gambler is now safe to store that Deadeye as well. That's two huge offensive ultimates they still have.
Aggressively coming in. He really wants that kill on Dreven. But they did end up getting the kill on Star again dying with Transcendence. But we have two support ultimates on the line for Team Booga, and that can bode very well for them.
Truly, I think that right now, the best bet is to just completely group up. And I don't know if mid lane is necessarily the right answer, but I know that they're definitely going to have to fully stack up here. No more kind of sneaky, cheeky flanks here. They got to really stack up together and make this push together. And that's kind of what they're doing here a little bit. They're spread out, trying to take high ground, and of course, Star's trying to
coming out by Alex.
Don't even need to pop it in. They still have chance. Valkyrie is out. Dravenslayer is trying to help, but Data Drainer does get taken down, gets rezzed.
This Bastion is proving to be such a problem right now. It is really running through them.
Absolutely.
He pops Transcendence too late. Most of his team is already dead after he pops it.
Just death and destruction on this battlefield right now. We're seeing Alex trying to hold out here as Baby Diva. Kreenis does get the kill here. Alex is just going to be straggling.
Alex gets the Baby Diva kill onto Data Drainer.
Oh, you hate to see your Deadeye denied like that, but you gotta give it. If Baby Diva gets you, then I think honestly that was kind of fate.
He might
that
be
was
a
fate.
little bit mentally boomed right now after a Baby Diva takes you out, I might think.
Absolutely, I know. I'd be offended if the Baby beat me up.
I would too. And the ult economy is still in Team Booga's favor. They have completely turned the momentum around into theirs. Getting D-Mech, that's terrible for Team Booga right now. Team Zam has really pulled it through a 5-minute hold on point 3.
Goodness. Insane. And they could have kept going longer. As you saw, they still had all those ultimates in the bank. You have to wonder, I mean, I genuinely do wonder, please answer this question. What do you think was the biggest drawback that Team Booga made there that kind of cost them that 5-minute lead?
That Bastion and the Baptiste were sitting on high ground for most of the game, and until that last couple pushes, they didn't do much to push them off. Another big thing was the ult economy. It felt that Team Zam was really using their ults well. They were rounding them at perfect times. They were keeping ults when they didn't need to. While Team Booga felt like they were using them as much as they could just to try and win the momentum of the fight. And obviously it didn't pan out in their favor too well. Now we are seeing, since we don't have that two tanks anymore, we're seeing just Sigma this fight. So we won't have double shield, but it is a variant though. We have that Moira. As we know in the past, Moira's not played very much in 6v6 Overwatch just because her utility isn't as great as other heroes. But I'm excited to see what's about to happen with this. We have a Hanzo. This is the first time we're seeing him play today. We'll see how that goes also. I think this is really going to rely on how well Emmy can mitigate all this damage that's going to be coming her way. Especially as a Reinhardt who can just hold his shield up. I mean, this Hanzo and that, we have a Hanzo, a Sigma, a Zenyatta, Cassidy. It's going to be so much damage coming into her.
Truly, the name of the game right now is just trying to survive here while still keeping them at bay. But Diva gets that first pick there. Hanzo just takes down Soldier like it's nothing. But thankfully, Dravenslayer does get that res. Res is out, however, so they know that utility is already popped. They can then push in on that because it's on cooldown. And now they're just already making the headway. Alex is just taking the space, making sure that he's closing the gap and putting the shields up. Monster's just a few hits away here, already getting pick after pick, and Team Zam is making their way to take this first team fight.
Monster trying her best, but unfortunately I think she was a little bit too far forward in this matchup. I know she was trying to contest the cart, but maybe she should have waited for her team to pick back up around her. Now we see this cart moving at full speed and with little to stop them right now. We do have no ultimates coming up online, so this is just going to be a battle of pure mechanics.
Yeah, I'm not even certain they're going to try and contest it here. It's looking like Daedrina wants to try and make a touch, but Krinos unfortunately just doesn't make that. TP's right back out. Honestly, right now, what they just need to do is just set up already for the next point. They're just still getting poked here by Team Zam, and honestly, all that's doing is just building some more ult economy over there. So it's just tough right now. I think they need to be setting up more because now it's a split push. Diva's getting that pick.
Just getting logged by Evan. Evan and Alex are really showing their stuff this map. They are putting everything on the line right now.
The Fire Strike is huge, but honestly, the ultimate by Sigma, Alex, is going to be even, this isn't a word, but huger, as just Alex just throws the rocks, gets the trade on the supports.
We have a nano Reinhardt coming in. She gets the kill. It's scary. It's very scary.
It's like the bull and the matador. You hate to be the matador in that situation.
Gambler's not able to make it out, and they're able to stop the bleeding for now. But let's see if Team Zam is able to pick it back up coming in. We have Dragon and Deadeye coming out for this. But we also have 3 ultimates ready on the line for Team Booga. We have Shatter, we have Visor, and we just got another along with Pulse Bomb and Valkyrie. We really need to see them conserve these ultimates well and use them correctly, because if they use them all at one time, we might see another plow.
Oh, and this is scary. Gets the Shatter in the Hall, but gets traded out for it. Halt and Gambler do get the kills there on the Rhine and Tracer there on Team Booga. Rough kills, even with the res, that's still going to be huge.
Uses his visor, but immediately gets yanked by Gambler.
Oh, unfortunate. The res was nice gesture, but unfortunately, the gesture of the court gets taken down as well. Daedrina gets rocked, of course, and this is just even more momentum for Team Zam. They've still got Dragons, Cole, and Trance in the bank. Meanwhile, Dravenslayer is the only one on Team Booga, even with an ultimate with just Valkyrie itself. Not necessarily enough to make a huge dent, but enough to at least support.
Another just absolute walloping right now. The momentum is so heavily in for Team Zam. Another point taken.
Second checkpoint there for Team Zam as they just make their car in their way onto the main path here. Alex is just taking this space like this neighborhood is already his, and we see a little bit of setup here by Team Booga up top here to try and contest this, but of course that's just going to mean Diva's going to respond in kind by making their way up top here, gets a few picks here, doesn't get taken down, getting those pokes. Honestly, this is huge. They're just going to keep poking him until they respond appropriately.
I think something really big happening here is how well Alex is taking space compared to Monster right now. He's really just opening up as much area as he can for his DPS to really work at what's happening. And there's just really no pressure going on to Halt and Pixel right now. They haven't even had to use ultimates to save their team at this point. We really need to see them stop them right now, or this game's ending a lot quicker than is expected.
You know, I didn't know if a 5-minute hold was truly possible until last round. So now that we've seen that, anything is possible in my opinion. With 4 meters left on the clock right now, 3:30 left. We're seeing some picks happening left and right here. Draven Slade does at least get the res. Koreans is down, Gambler's down, Monster's down, and that's
And the game
it.
is done. We saw a beautiful handling of that momentum race going in right there. And, I mean, Alex just did, I think he's the real MVP of this game. I mean, he handled that whole thing beautifully. He took the space he needed to with that Sigma. He took the space he needed to when he was on Diva and on Reinhardt. He really let his team throughout this, and they were able to feel comfortable the entire map. And I think what really put Team Booga in the hole is their ult economy. They were going ults way too fast for sometimes no reason. But let's see what happens on map 4.
Absolutely. The player's going to be taking a 10-minute little, what they call bio break right now. So absolutely just hang tight, and we'll be back with another set of games coming up soon. Match point for Team Zam. Stick around.
Stick around.
All right, we are back here now. Game point here, map 4 here for Team Zam and Team Booga as they are making their way through this tournament series, in-house tournament series with Overwatch 2 Workshop rule set here by UCO Esports. We are now making our way here to Nepal, where the players are going to duke it out on a control point. They just need to get their foot into this sanctuary. Not sanctuary specifically, that's another map, but into here, into the shrine, and just take what's theirs. So now we're going to be seeing probably some more aggressive plays here, since it's going to be more of a kind of close quarters combat style here. As you see, of course, in the tunnel is a little bit close quarters. In the room here, it's going to be a bit cramped. But nevertheless, these teams are ready to rumble, and they're going to take your face off. We can see Monster and Alex both have picked Reinhardt here, as they are looking to try and just make aggressive push here. We do see a little bit of difference here in the team composition, whereas Team Zam is rocking the Hanzo still. We do see at least a May over on Team Booga, and let's see if it pays out here. The ice wall is huge, but they are playing around it. Alex backs over to the corner, and they still hold the door. Alex is trying to push in, but Monster's also trying to push out here. No one's got any picks yet. It's still anybody's game. The wall is out again. The stun is out. The charge is there, but the immortality field by Halt does successfully save their Lucio from an inevitable doom by that charge. Monster is trying to take some space here. Alex is backing up here. It honestly looks to me like they just need to go ahead and at least secure kind of their space on the points. Make sure that they still get that capture now that it's up. Alex is looking worse for wear, but the Dragon and Shatter is out because Team Zam worked on building their ult economy while they studied the point. Team Zam studied the ults, and that's exactly what's happening. The ult is out, the charge is out, and unfortunately Monster gets taken down before they can get that trade over on Alex. That's just an intense fight there. Honestly, I'm actually a little bit surprised. I truly thought that that was probably going to go more towards Team Zam's favor, as they had so much space under their control, but it was a calculated retreat there by Team Zam as they were just pulling back, waiting for their time. Team Booga thought they had the upper ground, thought they had the advantage, but it was actually Team Zam who had the high ground. They had their ults in the bank, and they just made it happen. That being said, they don't even need ults for what they're doing right now, as they're just tearing it up, but they probably got a little bit overconfident here, as we see just pick after pick on Team Zam, as Team Booga now finally takes back what's theirs and starts making their way onto the point here. The ult charges are coming. We've almost got Shatter, Deadeye, and Freeze, Blizzard on Team Booga side. However, on Team Zam, they've already almost got Deadeye and Dragons now coming up soon. So the healing is going to be huge here. Draven's trying to get as much as they can. They got the freeze out. They've got the window up, but there's the Dragons. The immortality field is huge there for Devin. Data Drainer gets taken down, but Alex gets traded as well. Both teams are down a player, but one team's down their only tank. Team Zam is now needing to pull something out here if they want to not go down, but Monster is already just on a roll here with the fire strikes. Yogi does successfully hold the point, or at least keep it in Team Zam's favor, but Team Booga does still end up winning the team fights right now so far, and it's hurting them. Alex goes in for that last pick, just a kind of final farewell FU as Alex just gets that pin. Dravenslay is out, they get Alex down, and that is going to be another team fight, but this time it's in Team Booga's security. So it's now 40-60. Team Booga is still down, but they do have at least 2 ultimates in the bank. Team Zam is now working with Matrix is up. Deadeye is out. They're probably looking to combine these, but thankfully, Team Booga just went inside. They just ignored it. Said, I don't think I'm actually ready to play with that today. So, that was a good counter. They now baited out at least 2 ultimates from Team Zam's side. Alex Gusto does go down with the charge of Data Drainer. That one felt personal to me, the way he just kind of charged him off the stage, but it's also a little understandable just if that person is a huge threat. So I don't necessarily know if it was absolutely necessary, but we're going to see here if it was worth it. I don't know if it was necessarily worth it yet, but that was still, even still, I got a good laugh out of it. So I'm glad he did it anyway. So now we see the teams are going to be scrambling here a little bit, because now it's actually not 89, 90% here. Team Booga in the lead. Immortality Field is out. The Shatters out. Dragons are out. Yogi gets the triple kill. Alex is now getting the final kill on Kreenis to secure it out. That was a huge, devastating dragons there by Yogi. Perfectly timed there to capitalize on shoving the enemy team into their little kind of room there, almost practically bullying them into the locker. That's now, however, that being said, that is now an old disadvantage for Team Zam. Monster pops the shatter, and now it's wreaking havoc. Star, Kreenus are just taking them down. Monster and Kreenus as well, just keeping it up, just devastated them. Got in. They opened the, no, they didn't even open the door. They just charged right on through, 95%. Team Zam has got to try and make some miracle happen to touch it, but honestly, with the CC they have, the Deadeye they have as well, Kreenus is probably looking to try and just stop them from even touching the point. They're able to at least contest it just for the moment, but Kreenus is holding up for dear life. And now we see Star is on the point. Lamp is out. The fights are out. Alex is charged low, looking for help, and there's the Deadeye and Window combination. Does he get it? Doesn't quite get any kills with it. The Blizzard is out. This is the biggest fight-ending ultimate there can possibly be here, as they say this is ours, and Team Booga does successfully turn it around and takes the first round of map 4. Just a absolute dominating force there, as Team Zam did make a solid opening debut, but Team Booga did truly coordinate enough and just get their footing in enough to hold that. And then, honestly, one of the best things they did, in my opinion, was Team Booga realized once they had the momentum and they capitalized on it, they truly just made sure that they were able to maintain that space. And that's exactly what you want to do when you have the upper hand. So now we're back to the start of another map, of another round, I apologize, where it's 0-0. No one's got ults. No one's got point advantage yet. This is the clean slate that everyone needs to try and see what happens. Now both teams are kind of going opposite directions here. Very interesting enough, the ice wall is out. The team fight's finally happening on the point now. First kill is down. Monster does take Alex down. That's 2 kills there. Team Zam is now looking 3v5. It's not looking good for Team Zam, as Team Booga is taking this fight into their favor. Data Drainer and Monster secure the kills and make sure to take this first team fight in their favor. That's exactly what Team Booga needed. Just like I mentioned in that last round, the best thing that they did was once they got their foothold secured, they made sure to add a ladder and maintain their presence. They just made sure to keep that space. And so now that they got an inch, they're trying to take a foot as well. That's what they need to do. However, Team Zam is not out of the fight just yet. Alex is now pushing down, getting his team support. They're a little bit tucked into here, kind of worrying me in my opinion, but they're still healing. The shatter is out. The shatter is blocked by Alex, but Gambler does get taken down. Both tanks are down now. It's looking worse for Team Zam just because they're down 2, but both teams are down a tank. This is still winnable thanks to the new 5v5 format. Even though one tank is down, it's still a team of 4 competent players. If both tanks are down, honestly, that's just a even different kind of fight. It just, in my opinion, this is such an interesting kind of game set that makes me so much more excited for Overwatch 2, because it feels like there's so much more presence by the rest of the team. And speaking about the rest of the team here, we're seeing Data Drainer just get that first Frosty kill on them, but Team Zam does come back. Alex gets the triple kill, no less. Both supports and Data Drainer. Oh, yeah, you love to see it, because not only did Team Zam just now finally take their first team fight on this round, they did also secure it by holding on to their ultimates. And so, honestly, right now, what they're doing is they're holding on. They still got Shadow. They still got Dragons. They can combine those alone, it'd be huge. Or they can combine that with Coalescence. Now, Yogi does opt to go for the Dragons, and they pop the Shatter as well. Both ultimates are out from Team Zam, and now they pop the Coalescence just to try and make sure they don't lose this fight. It's looking like they might have over-ulted just a little bit here, as we see Team Zam is trying to just keep it going, but Team Booga is determined to stop them in their tracks from winning this map 4. Currently, we're seeing a good footing here by Team Booga. Team Zam did get 35%, but Team Booga is up to 70% now, already with 1 round in the bank. If they win this round, Team Booga will finally successfully take this map. They've got at least 2 ultimates on their side at this moment. Data Drainer is looking to get that last 5% there to get that Blizzard, but of course, Team Zam is obviously also trying to get the same thing. Gambler does have their ice in, their Blizzard in the bank, but they're taken down, and that's 2 kills. Daydream and Monster both take down Yogi and Gambler for some super necessary, super important, high-value kills here. Crease and Monster clean them up, and that's going to be 97%. Just another few ticks left until finally Team Booga secures round 2 and map 4. Absolutely insane plays there. I think, honestly, that was just such a crazy play there by all the players involved. I think amazing performance, of course, by Alex. You know, he gets the play of the game, as he usually does. But I still think that that was a wonderful, coordinated kind of team effort there, as they were just trying to make sure that they still got their foot in the door and kept their foot in the door. So it was just an impressive display by all the players already. Draven Slade, thank you for joining me over here in this voice channel. I just kind of wanted to talk about that last map. It seemed like Team Booga really kind of had a better idea about where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do, and they're just able to execute on that. But in your opinion, what do you think was the biggest deciding factors for Team Booga's new and renewed sense of success there on that map?
Yeah, we really just decided to buckle down. Decided we needed to come in with a lot more confidence and a lot more comms. We were confident in our comp. We knew Josh was a great Mei, and Emmy obviously a fantastic Reinhardt player. So we decided we were just going to hammer that comp home and really come in confident, and that's what we did. It really worked out in our favor.
It absolutely showed. I could see the confidence just from the way you guys were moving, the way you guys were retaking those points. I just think that was an absolutely dominant display there, and it's exactly what Team Booga needed to get back in the door. Now, my last question to you is, how do you guys feel kind of going into the next map? What are you going to be keeping from that last map going into these next set of rounds here, especially as you go now into King's Row?
You know, next map, we just got to keep it confident, keep it mindful, you know, keep with each other, communicate, you know, position correctly, and just really trust in ourselves. Let ourselves play the game. Don't overthink it.
Wise and sage words from Draven Slade himself. Appreciate you very much for talking to us right here. I'll let you get back to your team, planning on your strategy for this next game. But thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, team.
All right, so we just heard from Draven Slade over from Team Booga, and we kind of got an insight onto kind of what they were thinking. It seems like confidence is key here, as these players are just trying to make their force known. It really is, it's interesting to me. I think at this level of esports, right, you get to this point where it's not a matter of how to do something. It's not, you know, they're not wondering, okay, how do I use my ultimate? They know exactly how to use their ultimate. The biggest question now that these players are at, as they're at this high level of excellence in performance, they have to wonder when is the best time to use it. It's not a matter of how, it's a matter of, you know, when is the best time to do this? What's the value out of it? Where does this lead me afterwards? The best thing I usually say is the difference between a casual player and a professional or just esport competitor is just intent. I think these players are intentionally trying to coordinate their plays. They're targeting, they're stacking their ults, and they're just absolutely doing their best here. So I think that honestly, the best thing that these players can do is do exactly what Draven Slade suggests. Just keep that confidence, keep moving forward. Just imagine, visualize, then execute, as Zarya likes to say. But thankfully, we don't need to do a lot of visualizing right here on what the next map is going to be. We can already see now it's going to be King's Row here, which is honestly a fantastic map to be playing. I think the honorary title for this map is called Scrimmage Row, and what better time to play it than truly UCO Esports in-house Scrim with Overwatch 2 rule set. Thanks for the workshop. We're going to see an absolute just battle here. Very, very interesting to see here, and very of note is that for Team Booga, we might be seeing Alex here use his tank role to play Doomfist, because we do have confirmation that Doomfist is going to be a tank in Overwatch 2. Just to kind of show just the severity of the changes that are coming in Overwatch 2. So this is a perfect time to try and test out any new kind of abilities, rule sets, things that Doomfist has in his favor to make this happen. I think the amount of health is already going to be interesting to see, and just the sheer mobility for a tank is just curious on how it's going to operate. So now that we see Monster is going to be leading the pack on Team Booga. I apologize here. to make sure that they just keep this kind of brawl style heavy, but Alex is just going to be determined to get in there and make something happen. I don't see Alex on Doomfist a lot, so this could be an interesting match here since he's kind of playing at a slight disadvantage of just not one of his primary characters. But nevertheless, Team Zam is obviously going to still put in that work, just like Team Booga is. They're pulling back a little bit to kind of recoup a little bit of their abilities here, making their way back in now that they've got a little bit picked up. But that's going to be an anti-grenade, huge for Team Zam as they go in there. Even though the lamp was out, Dravenslay did still get taken down by Alex because Alex knew exactly when to swoop in, when to get that uppercut, and when to take them down with that perfect precision in midair. So both Alex and Gambler are just making the picks they need. Monster gets taken down. The tank is down on Team Booga side, and this is going to be a team fight victory for Team Zam. I thought it was going to be a little contested there by Star, but unfortunately gets taken down, and that's going to be a now first objective complete by Team Zam. This is now round 1, map 5 here. Team Zam is just now unlocking the objective in King's Row, which means that they have 5 minutes to get that objective to the end of the map. That sounds like a lot of time, but anything can happen, especially as we saw earlier in Junkertown. We saw a 5-minute hold happen, so anything is possible right now. Krenus is looking to try and get anything of that Deadeye, but it's just not going to happen here as the rest of the team is just going to hang out inside. Krenus still gets that kill, though. Data Drainer does go down for the trade. Gambler's getting taken down. Looks like Team Booga is finally getting some confidence back as they are now getting these picks. Alex is just tanking his health on point. It's scary to see Doomfist take so much just devastation. Perfect reaction there by Team Booga as they do successfully try and take down the mecha there by Echo. Unfortunately, the ult increase is just dramatic for the team, and that was a huge kill there, or at least huge pressure there that Yogi was able to apply with that duplicate nuke. So Alex was able to just clean up the situation that they already built thanks to that. So they're kind of trying to pull back. Daedrin was waiting on that charge you saw, but Yogi still was able to just clean them up. That is a huge stagger pick on Team Booga. Right now, Team Booga is operating with at least 3 ultimates in the bank, about to be 4, whereas Team Zam has 2 ultimates. Right now, it's in the favor ult economy-wise of Team Booga, but Team Zam is about to grab that point. What they need to do, Team Booga just needs to push in here with their ultimates and try and make something happen, but everyone's throwing their ultimates out. It's just a game of chaos here as we're seeing just fight after fight happen and just ultimate after ultimate, but no picks are even getting killed. I say that commentator's curse. Alex finally takes down Data Drainer, and Halt gets taken down as well for the trade. However, support going down is way different from DPS. Alex is just tanking this damage. Oh no, the meteor strike is coming in. Star gets away successfully. Krenus goes for the Deadeye. Doesn't quite get the Deadeye punish, but this does still at least keep Team Zam off the point. And Monster getting that kill on Yogi is actually huge because Yogi is a force to be reckoned with. So now that they've at least gotten the DPS out, this means that Team Zam has to stop, has to regroup, lick their wounds, and kind of circle back. 3 minutes left on the clock here. They need to kind of just think about where they want to be directing their ults, how they want to be building them. Honestly, they can take their time here. Team Zam can just kind of take their time and get their ultimates up. Dravenslade is going to make sure that they don't push for even longer because honestly, even if they don't get any kills with this window by Baptiste, the Matrix, I think it's still, the Amplification Matrix, it's still more of a threat. There's a very interesting metagame kind of layer that gets added to any kind of competitive esport here, as we're seeing, especially in Overwatch, where it's, you know, like I said earlier, it's not about how to do something, it's more about when to do something, the strategy, the metagame. Speaking of strategy, metagame, Yoga does take down Diva's mech there with that nuke. Star takes down Yogi's duplicate, however, so it's kind of like an ultimate cancel here. Daedrin gets taken down. That's going to be huge there. Daedrin is down. Team Zam is making their push in here. And that's a Deadeye from Team Zam as they get the kill on Star. Huge picks flying. Team Zam does get these picks. Monster gets demeched. Unfortunately, this is looking rough for Team Booga as Zam is just pushing in, making their way. 5 meters left. They just need to push the cart just a few more meters. And with those picks, that's exactly what they needed to get the second checkpoint. This is the home stretch now. Round 1 on map 5 here between Team Zam and Team Booga as they are currently just duking it out 3 minutes exactly left on the clock here. We've got almost 3 ultimates in the bank of Team Booga's favor, but they're just trying to keep Monster alive right here. Oh, unfortunately gets demeched. That's exactly what Team Zam needed to just start initiating. That's going to be a huge ult trade here. Alex is just tearing it up with his extended health pool here. It's insane. Monster just trying to survive. Barely survives the Doom tanking. Pixelfair and Alex do get taken down. That's absolutely huge here. Team Booga does finally kind of get themselves back in order. Straighten the hair, button the shirt, everything you need as you just kind of get back in. Finally, Monster remix, and their nuke is up. So this means the Amplification Matrix is up. Again, Dravensley does pop it. You could debate it's a premature ult. However, I think that's more of a strategic kind of just denial of area as they're just trying to whittle down the amount of time. Monster just throw in the nuke there, and that gets that huge double kill that they need. Even with the res Pixel Pharaoh uses, it still is at least 1 pick there. Dravensley does get picked, so that's going to be a support trade here, as now we are seeing interesting picks flying. Star does get the res. It's back to just 5v5 here, back to almost neutral after some reses. Deadeye is out, but the Amplification Matrix was already up. Still another ult, no kills. Danger does get Pixel Pharaoh down. And we see that they are just making a stance here. Monster takes down Yogi, but Krenus gets taken down as well. I think right now this is actually a little bit more in Team Booga's favor, especially with Data Drainer putting that pressure on. As long as they keep Monster safely asleep, I think they're good. But Monster's going in deep a little bit. It's not a terrible idea to try and get that space, but the matchup against Sigma is a little rough for Diva just because you can't eat that rock. I certainly would not want to eat rocks for dinner. It seems Diva feels the same. So now the Amplification Matrix is up. Both teams are trying to make the best use of this while still just not getting quite decimated. It's going to be in Team Zam's best interest to just wait for that. And that's exactly what they did. Alex is now popping his Graviton Flux there. Gets that kill on Star. Krenus is down. Data Drainer is down. Ultimates are flying. This is the final push that Team Zam needs to get it back into the point and win this round. 3 meters left. They're just trying to get in. 40 seconds left on the clock. They're working, trying to get these kills. Team Booga is taken down 1 by 1. Krenus left on the fight, but no longer. We see Team Zam secures the points. Round 1 is Team Zam's favor on map 5. Whew. Now, after an intense match like that, now we're going to see the teams flipped, of course, and now we're going to see Team Booga over on attacking side, whereas now Team Zam is going to be on the defending side. We saw an interesting, very aggressive composition there by Team Zam as they substituted their main tank position for Doomfist because Doomfist is going to be operating as a tank in Overwatch 2. So that was an interesting play. Monster, of course, stuck with the Reinhardt and at least was working out for most of it until swapping off into the Diva. I don't necessarily think that was a bad call. I just think that right now what the teams are playing at is just different goals, different mindsets. I think right now we're seeing just pure aggression by Team Zam. And Team Booga, of course, naturally, it is match point for Team Zam. So Team Booga is probably feeling the pressure. They're feeling this heat. They're in the kitchen just trying to not, lose out. But they're also trying to put up a good fight in the process. It's a delicate balancing act of not, putting the cart before the horse, but also you still need to have a lot of horsepower. So with that in mind, we're now going to make it into round 2, map 5 here, and we're seeing Team Booga is now on the offensive, on the attack. Let's see which of these tanks is going to make more of an impact here in this fight, since there's now only one tank in the 5v5 format. It's Diva versus Zarya. Zarya has got the bubbles, of course, but is this going to be enough to deflect all the damage? Team Zam is making their way back in here. Oh, that was terrifying for Krenus as they made their way into the heart of the team that they're just trying to crush. And now they're a little bit backing up in there. Alex is kind of by him lonesome on the front line, but Monster goes in deep and might get punished for it. Data Drainer does get Pixel Pharaoh down, but Krenus gets taken down as well. Diva Mech is down, and that's going to be looking bad here for Team Booga as they're down 2 for a 3v5. Gambler just takes down Baby Diva as well, just crushing there. And we're already seeing some swaps here. Monster goes off of Diva onto Reinhardt, but Data Drainer at least does already almost have Visor. This is important Just note, because it's going to be a matter of kind of the ult economy going in this next fight. Of course, that was huge pick on Alex and Halt. This is exactly what they need. They just need to win this team fight very confidently, and that's exactly what they just did. I'm not sure exactly what just happened, but in the blink of an eye, we just saw a team fight won, and now the objective is already secured for Team Bugha. Just insane capture there. Again, blink and you miss a kind of moment where you just suddenly they just won the team fight. Alex does at least get this kill on Data Drainer, but it doesn't quite matter as much at this moment because they just got the objective. Now we're in the second phase of this round, and of note here especially is just what are they going to do to get out of this choke point. They've got 4 minutes 40 seconds on the clock here to get the objective in there. Basically the same amount of time Team Zamp had to try and push it in. Is this going to be enough time for Team Bugha to push it in here? With this ultimate, I think Monster is probably going to say yes here. The Fire Strike is flying, but unfortunately the Anti and the Coalescence is going to be so much to deal with. You've also got a Riptire as well. I think what they did is Team Zam just convincingly shut down Team Bugha as they just waited to bait out those ultimates. Once those ultimates were out, such as the Nano by Dravenslade, they just capitalized on that by throwing out Riptire, Coalescence, as many things as they could, as much utility as possible, just to stall them out. Speaking of utility here, it's looking like Team Zam is going to be working with Graviton, Surge, Gamblers, going to have the Cole Cassidy, of course, special, the Deadeye, and we're going to see Halt here on Ana be taking this Nano as well. So with 3 ultimates in the bank, Star has got to use this Transcendence perfectly right, exactly timed. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough situation. So the Shatter is out, but unfortunately, so is the Grab. The Trance is exactly what they needed. Star does mitigate some damage here, but there's still two picks down on both sides. 3v3 fight here. Monster and Data Drainer gets the kills. Huge picks by Data Drainer here as they just secure this fight. Alex is kind of staggering, trying to survive, but gets pinned by Monster. That's going to be a huge teamfight victory for Team Bugha here. I'm not certain if Team Zam even has enough room or time to try and contest this point before they get the checkpoint, and I don't think that Team Bugha is even going to let them have it. So now we're about to see the Clash of the Titans yet again here. The checkpoint is secured. This is now more of a kind of ult building phase now. The time is back to the clock. 4 minutes are still in favor of Team Bugha just to get their point in, but they've only got 1 checkpoint left to cross. They've got Team Zam on their heels trying to just survive this fight now, but now they're actually turning around. Yogi does, of course, pop the ultimate, which secures 2 kills, and Yogi does also break the shield. Unfortunately, Monster was just left to fend for themselves as we saw the rest of Team Bugha kind of recognized, okay, I think we can probably pull it back a little bit. Just some crushing utility usage here. Team Zam was able to successfully keep them out, but now Team Bugha is hungry and ready for seconds here. We're seeing now this push here. Chris throws the pulse bomb, doesn't quite get any kills with it. Star still has the Trance, and Data Drainer does get that kill. Gambler's just 1 hit away, but somehow gets saved. This is an interesting fight here. 3 minutes left on the clock. 1 final stretch left. This is exactly what they need. The Trance is huge to cancel out the grab by Sigma here. Alex on Team Zam. Jameson gets the kill on Yogi. Once Yogi is down, it's actually a huge factor. But Gambler gets the triple kill. Deadeye. Oh, phenomenal kill there. Triple play there just to secure this. Team Zam tries just stopping them dead in their tracks, and honestly, that Deadeye was exactly what Team Zam needed to just keep their foot on the door. Honestly, if he didn't get that triple kill with that, I truly believe that would have been round for Team Bugha. Now, it's been reset. 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock for Team Bugha to still get this cart to the end of the race here. Both teams are working with a severe lack of ultimates in the bank, except for Dravenslade over on Team Bugha's side. They've got the Nano. They just need to know when to use it. Pixel Pharaoh does have Rally, and now they're popping Rally to initiate. Dravenslade also pops the Nano to retaliate. The bolts are flying. Pixel Pharaoh and Alex both get the kills. There's a Sleeping Beauty Pixel Pharaoh over here. Alex gets the double kill. Danger does fall off. Unlucky. Monster gets taken down as well. And that's just another team fight victory here for Team Zam. This is exactly what they need, is just stalling the enemy team as much as possible. What was once 4.5 minutes of time here in this last stretch has now somehow become a minute and a half, which really can come down to 1, maybe 2 team fights. Alex's shield is now down. That's exactly the kind of util breaking that they need to push in here. Team Booga is recognizing this kind of utility difference, is now finally making this push in as we're seeing them finally push this cart here. Yogi is trying to get something to happen on Ash, but Monster Queens take them down. That's 3 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills. Team wipe there for Team Booga. Takes them down and wins round 2. Absolutely just impressive display here by both sides. You just can tell they're really fighting with all they've got when you know that it's 3-3 here on this tiebreaker round. This is match points for Team Zam. If they just win this tiebreaker round, then they will win this series. So it's interesting to me, can Team Zam pull off this victory, or is Team Booga going to make the hold that they need? Interesting to see here. We've got Alex finally making a more standard cautionary kind of tank pick, but what's interesting to see is also Monster on Team Booga is actually going to take Zarya. It's kind of a flip of what we were seeing earlier where Alex was trying out some Zarya, but now it's curious to see if that's going to be the deciding factor here. Yogi is going to be on Widowmaker, which is scary for Team Booga because Yogi is going to be absolutely getting those shots. That being said, Data Drainer and Kreenis have proven themselves a force to be reckoned with, a duo that cannot be dismissed. We're going to see some phenomenal plays here. Whoever gets the first picks, I'm convinced, is going to be leading the next team fight. And once you get the team fight, there's only a minute on the clock for this. So the first team fight is crucial for deciding the momentum of this round. They're going to be making their first push here. Team Zam is going to be making their way through the choke point here. The fight's already started. Yogi is now taking the pharmacy approach as they want to fight from the skies, but Alex is going to fight from the ground. It's a dual-sided approach. Let's see if it's working out. Alex is trying to take the space as best as he can here, but he's getting CC'd, of course. Finally back out to help. This is exactly where Alex wants to be, just right in their face, right with the health and support of his team. Gambler does take a kill down. This is absolutely going to be in Team Zam's favor at this second, but anything can switch in the moment. Gambler takes down Monster as well. Huge critical double kill there by Gambler. Takes down at least 2 players on Team Zam's side. On Team Booga's side, apologize. Oh, and the dreaded pin of death. Alex does crush Draven Slade to get him out of the ring. And now, thanks to that, they're able to successfully get that. An insane shatter. Ult denial by Alex. Just stops Kreenis in his tracks as he was just trying to get that simple Deadeye. Finally, just thanks to that one simple kill or 2 by Gambler, that was the dominoes that they needed to fall to get this kind of momentum. Now, it is overtime. However far they make it here is just however far they make it. All Team Booga needs to do is win one team fight here and get them off the point, and that will stop their progress. Team Booga is going to be looking to try and use their nano here. I think one thing that could be in their best interest is getting Data Drainer to build up that visor and then go for the nano visor combination. The nano here, unfortunately, does have to be popped to try and save Monster. Kreenis is getting the kills at least, but Data Drainer goes down from the Yogi barrage by Farah. Alex is going in deep with that charge, and Monster does reciprocate in kind. Gets the charge kill on Alex, but that's going to be a huge resurrection by Pixel Pharaoh, getting Alex back up. Another charge by Monster on Alex, and another shatter, devastating shatter there by Monster. Is going to be worth it. Just one team fight is all Team Booga needs. Just getting Zam off the point. Team Zam is just trying to stick to this cart like it's glue. The utilities are out. Monster is now half health, just trying to play around just the sheer force they have. Data Dragon finally comes in with the visor, cleans him up. That's one more kill. Halt is down. Alex is sleeping on the cart, and there is the team fight victory that Team Booga needed. All right, with that round now finally complete, now it's up to Team Booga again on attack here with a minute and a half to push it as far as they possibly can. Now that is going to be 30 seconds longer than Team Zam had, but honestly, it's still likely going to just go into overtime by the time they even do capture the point, just like that last round happened. So with that, we're already just poised and ready for some extreme Overwatch gameplay here. I don't know about you guys, but I am truly impressed by the displays of performance we're seeing by all the players here tonight. Everyone, of course, is just doing their best. We see, of course, delightful little roasty marshmallows, of course. But, of course, these players in their heads, in their comms right now, are strategizing, thinking, okay, what do we got to do here? What kind of composition do we need? Alex is, of course, making the peak with the Reinhardt shield. We're gonna see some devastating plays here by Yogi, as we're seeing Bastion. And, of course, with this new workshop rule set, Bastion is going to be having a new unique movement option where he can still move while in sentry form. So I'm curious to see how Yogi's going to use that. I'm curious to see how Credence and Data Drain are going to respond to all this. But honestly, we've just got a minute and a half here. Again, game point for Team Zam. They just need to hold out Team Booga, and it's already looking kind of scary when Yogi can just move around in turret form like this. How is Team Booga going to respond to this kind of oppressive dominance here as they just pull back here? The Monster's taking a little bit of space. Doesn't quite have the team to back them up yet, as they're just trying to flank around. Monster is practically fighting for themselves. And there's the pin. Oh my goodness, it works out exactly for Monster. Finally, they get that charge pin. And that's exactly what they needed to get the kill. Immediate team fight victory for Team Booga. That was insane how fast they got that. In fact, it was so fast that they actually did it with 45 seconds left on the clock, as opposed to Team Zam going into overtime. So they've got 40 seconds left to even push it as far as they can before it even hits overtime, mind you, just to get it to this blue highlighted area. Team Booga is honestly on a roll right now. They've got Shatter up. You know Monster's going to try and pop that as soon as they get that Reinhardt down. Alex is holding that shield because he knows the Shatter is up. This is the meta game. This is the time when Team Booga is going to try and use the Shatter best they can. You know it any second now. It gets blocked by Alex. The nano is out. Both Reinhardts are nanoed. The shields are broken. The charge is coming out. The charge gets counter-charged. And now the shields are flying. This is exactly the kind of fight we need. Data Drainer gets the visor. Alex gets the shatter, but Kratos gets the trade. And that is exactly what they needed. Team Booga wins. Another round for Team Booga. And this means that Team Booga does take map 5. Amazing performance here. The last two maps finally were Team Booga's favor. It's been an interesting back and forth here. We saw the first maps were taken by Team Zam, but now as we've just made it on through the night, we've seen Team Booga just take more and more pressure and just handle it exactly as they needed to. It's been down and dirty. It's been some crazy matches, but honestly, it's been a sight to behold. So now we're finally entering some final stages here. The players have got to be working with just a little bit of mental bandwidth here. Finally, it's important to note that at this point, these players have been focusing everything they have in each of these rounds. Every one of these rounds and every one of these maps, every one of these team fights, these players are on. They are engaged. And they are thinking what they need to do, what they need to coordinate, and now they're finally on, what is this, map 6, I believe, the best of 7. And so it's just going to be a interesting kind of fight here, because now we're seeing, of course, the players are coordinating the best they can, but you still have to take into account the human factor, the mental human factor that can come into play once these players have already been kind of putting their best foot forward. You know, you can only stay 100% engaged so much of the time. Now they're trying to work with the best they've got. This is where it really becomes an endurance match. It's less of a sprint like those first maps were, and now more of a marathon to see who can just keep their stamina out longer. I'm curious to see how these players are going to be reacting to this kind of back and forth that they've been going on. Team Booga is now on a roll as they have finally won these last two maps here, and I'm curious to see if Team Zam is going to respond to this by just finally securing it out, as they're on match point here, or if Team Booga is just going to keep this ball rolling, if they're somehow just going to turn this around and take the next 2 maps. I'm just so curious to see this. If we actually take it to the game 7, if it's 3-3, because right now it's 3-2, whoever takes 4 maps does win this best of 7. So interesting now, going to Havana, this is now going to be a completely kind of different map, because although King's Row was a hybrid map where you first had to complete the first objective and unlock the vehicle, now the players are going to be trying to make their way through this site already with the vehicle from the get-go. This is going to be an interesting performance here by both teams, as we're going to see some interesting picks. Now we've got Monster making a pick that we have not seen tonight yet. We've got Monster on Orisa, which does make more sense because this first point is so open, so long that you have to make it down. It makes sense that you would want someone with just an impressive kind of fire. So we're going to see Team Bugak here with Monster leading the pack as main tank, holding this first round on map 6, as we see this kind of more bunker style comp. We've got Krenus on Data Drainer, both sniper characters, and we've got Dravenslade of course on Baptiste to help back up the Monster defending with Orisa. On the offensive side, however, we're seeing Alex on Sigma, which is a good response. He's got shield mobility, he's got rocks for ult denial, and we're seeing the same DPS composition from the attacking side, Team Zam as well. But instead of Baptiste, we see Halt, of course, picks their favorite Ana. Yogi does take down Data Drainer. That is going to be a Widow diff moment, of course, but Star does at least get the res, which does help them maintain their 5v5. 4v5 is not a good situation to be in, so now it's at least back. The scales have been reset, but Data Drainer responds in kind, doesn't try to go for the Widow fight again, instead takes the Ana out. So now we've got the Resurrection out. Yogi takes down Krenus, and now it's going to actually be back again in Team Zam's favor now that they've taken down a few just key picks here. Team Booga is backing up now. They've popped gold. Monster is just trying to work with Orisa's kit as best they can here, playing around the cover, trying to hold this corner, use the pull, but fortunately doesn't get huge value. Alex's shield is going to be down. That's huge. Both his shield and his eat ability is going to be down. Sigma is working with very little resources right now, but that doesn't matter because he's got the team at his beck and call. Yogi does take down Data Drainer yet again for a Widow difference moment. Monster's just holding on for dear hope here. Yogi just taking them down one by one. It's just a devastating streak that Yogi is on. The shield blocks the rock. Monster is holding out hope as long as possible. Krenus gets taken down. Monster gets taken down as well. And that is going to be a first checkpoint of round 1, map 6, going to Team Zam's favor. So I mentioned earlier the endurance factor is a huge part of kind of what makes this so competitive now, because of course they've been competing at the fullest capacity that they can offer, of course. However, these players are now probably experiencing some kind of mental fatigue in the sense that they just have to navigate this kind of 5v5 performance. You know, they're still already working with trying to remember all the new rules and mechanics that are in place for the workshop, while also trying to just capitalize on what they already know. So now they've got the shield, they got the amplification matrix, and it is huge. Data Drainer takes full advantage of that. Monster and Data Drainer as well both just make impressive picks off of that amplification matrix, and Yogi makes sure to get the trade as well. Doesn't get their foot in the door, but it at least gets a little bit of ult economy, a little bit of ultimate gaining denial, and just needs the team to regroup. So Krenus gets Yogi as well. That's a huge stagger. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock here for Team Zam to try and get the cart to the end. We're seeing some shield action going on here on top of the stairs. Curious to see if they're really going to commit here to the side or if they're really pushing in, but Krenus does get the Ash on Team Zam's side. Gambler does go down, but honestly, as scary as this is right now for Team Zam, all they need to do is combine their ultimates right here, and it's looking like they're really banking these as much as they can. The Halt gets eaten by Sigma. They're making an aggressive push. The Nano is out on Alex because they believe in their tank right here. This is the kind of team support that you need. Team support is just through the roof right now. Monster is getting taken down. Halt gets traded out. Dravenslade and support and tanks down on Team Booga's side. Right now, we're seeing some impressive aggression here by Team Zam as they're making their way to try and get back on the cart, and it's working out for them. They had to use a few ults, but they did at least get back on the point, and now they're working with a little bit more leeway room here. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock here. We see one ultimate in the bank on both teams' sides here as we're just trying to navigate and see kind of where they're going to take this next fight. We see Holt's kind of frontlining here, scoping it out. But, of course, we've also got Alex on the left side trying to maintain his presence over in the left doorway to make sure that they don't push out there. Just like the amplification matrix on the last map, King's Row, was talking about how sometimes their ultimates and utility usage can be more of a threat than it is an actual damage dealer. And right there, Monster just got caught out, unfortunately, getting crushed by the weight of Halt and the team's coordination, as we see in the kill feed right there. We're just seeing kind of a good push. Right now, they just need to get it over to the checkpoint. It's looking like Team Booga is going to try and touch it at all possible. Star is making a Mercy versus Mercy fight here in barrels. Interesting to see if this is going to happen. Krenus is getting healed. Oh, Star is just holding on for dear life. They're really just trying to take this 2v1, but with the tank, it's insane. Oh, the shields. Oh, it's so awkward, but they do make it happen. Daedrin and Krenus do get the kills, and finally hold off Team Zam. Now, the card is just backing up. It's just gaining more distance by the second. A minute and a half left on the clock for Team Zam to get it at least to this next checkpoint. It's basically right there, so all they need to do is win at least one team fight, which it's looking like they're about to have a few ultimates in the bank, and that's going to be a real possibility. Monster's looking worse for wear, almost about to get taken down. That would have been huge. Krenus does get taken down. Alex gets the first pick. That's exactly what they need. Bob is out from Gambler's side. The ground flux is up nearby Sigma. The damage is out, but it doesn't even matter. Data Drainer and Krenus are just getting even more picks as they need. A minute left on the clock. Data Drainer just keeps taking them down, pick after pick, no matter what. Team Zam is now making some swaps. Alex is off on ball now, of course, and we're going to see a final push here. This is only enough time for one last push. So this either secures the checkpoint for Team Zam, or this is going to be where they make their final mark here on attack. The Valkyrie and Rally are both out by Team Zam. Those are huge supportive ults to hold them. And Yogi pops Dragons too, just to make sure. Honestly, that might get at least one kill, but Star does go down. Gambler gets another kill. It's truly just impressive how every player on Team Zam right now is just making individual big plays here. Alex Monster is just trying to hold this, trying to stay as long as possible, gets the flux out, but gets taken down before it can truly land. That's exactly what Team Zam needed to try and continue this fight as they get the checkpoint, get the time on the clock, and now they're working with a minute and a half to get it all the way to the end. Can Team Zam finally secure this round and bring it home, or is Team Booga going to keep this momentum rolling they've had for the past two maps and just stop Team Zam in their tracks? So now we're playing kind of a more long-range battle. We're going to see more Yogi on swapped off of Hanzo to get onto Widow, just because this is such a wide open, long-range section of the map. It makes sense to try and have that long-range dominance. Gambler does take down Krenus, but of course Star gets that res. So although res is out now, that's at least huge. Daedra gets another pick at least on Gambler now. The mines are denying the high ground, and that's the right call for Alex because it pushes out Data Drainer, gets that melee kill. Amplification Matrix is out, and that's now Bridge is under Team Zam secure. 30 seconds left on the clock here. They're just pushing. Alex is taking that space the best as he possibly can, playing ball like you've never seen the ball go around since your last pinball machine. Some may say spin to win, but Alex just says easy game, go next. Right now, we're just seeing some aggressive display. Alex is truly going to be trying to keep this on lock. They're actually, Team Zam is playing a little bit off-site just to try and kind of get these kills, long-range picks, and bait out the utility as best as they can. Finally, the clock is out. Overtime is on, and this is the team fight that's going to decide this round right here and now. Krenus is getting the picks. Danger follows up the dynamic duo. Alex gets the trade, however. One more pick, and it's going to be even. Immortality Lamp is out. That's another pick there. Team Zam picks exactly what they needed. 3 kills, 4 kills down on Team Booga, and that's exactly what Team Zam needed. That team kill drove the cart home and won that round. Impressive display by just all the players there. I did not know what was going to happen just because we simply hit overtime so many times that round that it could have been over at any point. It could have been over in the warehouse. It could have been over right there at the very finish line, but Team Zam did exactly what they needed. That was so smart. I saw them earlier kind of standing outside on bridge. They let Alex push in there first. They got that kind of foot in the door that they needed, and then they just made sure to push in at the very last second once they've got the utility, and they just popped ults. And then from that point on, I think they already kind of had the advantage because Alex was tearing it up, putting that pressure on, and they just were able to make the rest of the dominoes fall. So now we're taking it to round 2, map 6 here. Again, game point for Team Zam. We just need to see a interesting performance here. Both teams are going to be swapping some characters around, of course. Alex is going to go back on Sigma. Monster is now going to go on to Monkey. Winston for a bit more of kind of a dynamic, bit more of a dive type of composition. Excuse me. Now that they've got I apologize. They've got Tracer and Zenyatta to back them up quickly and necessary, and of course Draven Slade can heal from a distance, so they're going to be clumped up here. Not a bad call here by Team Zam, as they just need to make sure that they kind of hold this as much as they can, no matter what cheesy strat they need to do. If it works, it works. So we're seeing this is kind of a scary push here. Monster's just using cover the best they can, trying to not get caught out, using the cart as a sort of mobile cover. It's scary. You know they've got to be scared right now. So now they finally did at least turn the corner, get the cart down to the end of mid lane. This is actually going to be a very significant turning point in the team fight because now they've got at least some space. They don't have to fight mid lane. Alex is out, caught out with the Discord as well. Can't eat that monster beam. Theoretically, this could be a tank kill finally on Alex, but the rest of the team, of course, supports Alex and gets them back on their feet. Alex is half. Alex is one of the biggest skills they need. Alex and Yogi, I truly feel, are going to be some big key factors in these fights. Just as I said that, they did get Daedra and Karina's down, and they res Gambler, so now they're going to be fighting a 4v5 at least here. Monster just tearing up Alex from behind here with a laser gun. And it's just curious to see kind of how they interact. Karina's kind of hops in there. Oh, the Monster does successfully go for that flank on Yogi. Takes them down on high ground. That's the kind of monster that we like to see as the dive primal rage monster. Huge pick right there. Monster does get Gambler as well. Both DPSs are out. Monster gets another kill on a roll. No matter what happens to Monster now, they know that they did their duty by getting those kills. Star and Crane just clean them up as well. And this is exactly what Team Booga needs to try and get this cart even further down mid lane. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. This is perfect for Team Booga going into the first checkpoint, finally securing it. And that time increase is now going to bring it all the way up to 4.5 minutes just to get it to the next checkpoint. Can Team Booga carry this cart all the way to the next checkpoint, or is Team Zam finally going to be able to just bring it home here and stop this game of charades? If Team Zam successfully just holds Team Booga, then that will finally give them the 4th map win that they need. But Team Booga is not going to go down without a fight. They're not going into that Gentle Knight. Data Drainer is pulling up the big guns here with the kill going into the visor. Double kill already. That's just huge. You love to see that kind of dynamic action there. Like I was saying, the dynamic duo is back with Krenus and Data Drainer just tearing it up, just going through their offense. And so right now, the biggest thing that Team Booga needs to just keep in mind is that anything can happen. They can still make anything happen. That wasn't even too much of a trouble for them because they were able to just get in there with at least just one ult. Now, the most important factor is while Star is on the cart, they do have Transcendence. Data Drainer already gets 1 pick. It's a 5v4 already. And numbers do matter in this game. So Data Drainer is now not playing around. Jesus is the man that it's going to come back out of the grave tomorrow, no, on Sunday. But Data Drainer is the one who is just sweeping them off their feet right now. Alex finally finally takes down Data Drainer, just ending the mad rampage that they were on. But that's not going to stop Team Booga. However, as Dravenslade and Star just picking up the slack, Monster, Kreenus, everyone right now on Team Booga is just on fire. Just truly, I mean, Winston was literally on fire there. But the team is just ready to win this. Their fangs are out. 4 minutes left on the clock here. 1 checkpoint left. 1 dream. 1 team. They're trying to make this happen. And now this is going to be the hardest checkpoint, but they've got the most amount of time. So anything can happen here. Again, Team Zam just needs to hold them off long enough to just win this map. So they're going to be throwing anything they can here. Literally throwing anything they can as Alex throws that nuke with the Diva bomb to get Dravenslade off, but Kratos actually trades them back. Alex gets some more follow-up kills, has the Discord on them. Right now, this is still going to be a... So, theoretically, even though we are seeing picks flying, Team Zam is taking down members of Team Booga. That being said, Team Booga has a much shorter spawn here. So, the team fight is necessary to win, but it's kind of a matter of how far you're taking it. Right now, Team Zam is truly putting the pressure on, making them use as many resources as possible as early on in the fight, so that by the time the carriage even gets to the bridge, the rest of Team Booga will... the rest of Team Zam will hopefully be able to then meet back up with them and pop some ults, because we see Gambler has got Bob, Pixel Pharaoh has got Coalescence, and Halt's already coming up soon on Rally. So with that in mind, the only thing that Team Booga has in their pocket to deal with those ultimates is a Transcendence. There's Bob already out there by Gambler. Gets slept, unfortunately. A bit of an ult denial here, but we're seeing Monster still trying their best. 6 health left. Unfortunately gets taken down, and the tank is a huge factor here in these fights. Daedrin takes down Halt. This is now going to be a back and forth brawl. Daedrin, of course, doing what Daedrin does best. Yogi counteracting, however, also with Visor. This is just a battle of the soldiers right now, like it's Call of Duty. Interesting to see these players just duking it out left and right. Alex gets the punch. Monster is flying back. Alex is finally remeched here, and that's bad news for Team Booga, because that means that Zam is locked and loaded. Alex does have the Diva bomb, while Halt is holding on to that rally. Now we're looking at Team Booga is going to be probably looking to push in with Nano Primal, or they're going to try and make Data Drainer put in some more work with that Visor, of course. 80% on that Visor of Data Drainer. There's the Nano. Is Monster going to be popping Primal? Probably going to wait until their health bar is low to use that health rejuvenation. This is just so much damage Monster is soaking up. But the Diva Bomb is out. That finally gets at least a little bit of damage on the board here. We see Alex just kind of retreating back. Now Monster is likely going to be taken down, as they were just deep in enemy lines. This is a very crucial part of the match here, as we have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. The cart is near the finish line. However, this is still 1 minute 15 seconds left. The rest of the team Booga has to push into here, depending on how long this team fight goes. This could be the last team fight, but that's exactly what they needed to push in here. Star gets the pick on Yogi. Yogi does have short spawn, but that's exactly the kind of pick they need to push in. The anti-nade is out. The Transcendence by Star is out. Gambler gets the kill on Kratos. Data trades out Gambler. This is just DPS trading left and right. The team fight is happening. The nade, Dravenslade self-nades to try and stay alive, because it's crucial the support stays alive right now in this huge team fight. Right now, this is a battle of attrition, as both teams are just trying to play with what they have, with both Dravenslade and Monster getting picked out from Team Booga. It's now looking like do or die, no matter what. This next team fight is it. This is going to be the deciding factor here. Either Team Booga successfully captures this cart into the end and is able to take it into a tiebreaker, or Team Zam is going to hold their own and just make sure that they don't get it going. And they're doing everything they can to stop them. Team Zam is just throwing as many ults as possible. Alex, Halt, Yogi all get their own kills. Data Drainer does get the kill on Gambler, but the kills are still flying, and Team Zam is just absolutely tearing it up with the ultimates. The overtime is out. The point is contested. The kills are flying. Monster is down. Team Zam gets it going. Overtime is out, and that is it. Team Zam secures the victory in map 6. Whew! That was an amazing performance by everybody involved. but truly just phenomenal work by everybody. I mean, even in this play of the game, you see Pixel Pharaoh here just putting in as much work as possible. That's a battle Zenyatta if I've ever seen it. Gets the double kill. Oh, you know it's an insane match when even the Zenyatta gets a triple kill. Oh, just a truly insane performance here. I think all the players truly put in as much work as possible. But I think that was just such an amazing match that everybody was just playing. That it was intense to watch. It was entertaining, of course. It was just insane to see both teams go at it. Data Drainer, thank you so much for joining me here. I just kind of wanted to pick your brain a little bit about that last match after such an intense game. Just kind of, I know you guys were probably working at the end of your rope here, but what was going through your mind as you guys were kind of fighting that last round?
The whole time, basically, on Soldier, I've noticed in the 5v5, it's actually with one less tank, it's pretty easy to get those like crazy flanks. But Alex was doing a pretty good job on Diva keeping me out. So my whole goal is basically just trying to get around Alex there on the Diva. Trying to get it if I can.
Makes sense to me. You were absolutely getting those picks, kind of just tearing it up in that last round. I swear it was like a one-man army. But that being said, I think finally that was a well-earned victory after a lot of games. How you feeling? How do you think that your team performed today?
I think we did pretty good. We didn't end up losing anything, but it's all right. It's all for fun.
Yeah, it's still absolutely still impressive performance by everybody involved. So with that, I appreciate you talking. I think that was an amazing performance here. You are probably tired after all those games, so I'll let you go. But thank you so much for joining me over here.
Thank you.
All right, with that, that is going to be it for this Overwatch 2 showdown here. It's been exciting for me to watch. I hope all of you who have been watching had an amazing time. I just want to congratulate all the players for just doing their absolute best here. I mean, we made it to map 6, right? Out of a best of 7, that's insane. That only happens if both teams are truly just doing their best, playing their best, and that's what we saw tonight. So thank you all for watching. Shout out to all the players, and I had a wonderful time tonight. So with that, thank you so much, and everyone have a wonderful night.